A friend of mine told me this short story the other day over a cup of beer. I won't go into too much detail, much less embellish it. I'll tell it as it is, briefly and without excess. Our neighbor Aunt Valia, who lived on the first floor, recently died, and then the day of the funeral came. When they started to carry out the coffin, the door lock jammed, not wanting to unlock the front door. And before that, this had never happened to it. It always opened and closed properly. But then this happened. They opened it with the key from the other way around, and poked it like that, it wouldn't go. And that's it. And this was at such a moment. They tried to remove the lock, but nothing worked. Either they couldn't find a screwdriver, or the threads would break and the bolts would turn, or something else would happen. We suffered for about an hour, and a decision was made to carry the coffin with the deceased right out the window. Fortunately, we lived on the first floor. The problem was solved. They carried it out and drove to the cemetery. They buried it, basically, did everything as it should be, and started getting ready to go home. The whole family got into the car, but it wouldn't start. We pushed it this way and that, and tried everything, but it wouldn't start. Everything would be fine, but there was mud. While they were pushing, everyone was up to their ears in mud. After many attempts, they still couldn't start it. The car was new, recently bought, and then someone said, "Grandma, let us go home," or something like that. Suddenly, the car started right away, to everyone's surprise, but it refused to move, as if someone was holding it from behind, not letting it go. "Grandma, let us out!" And the car finally started. There were no more such strange things with the car. It didn't end there. At night, there was a knock on the door. They didn't knock, they just banged. Everyone in the apartment heard it. They came to the door. Of course, there was no one there. I've heard such things before, but I'm inclined to think that it was no longer the deceased who was coming. Of course, we didn't open the door. Even the deceased's daughter-in-law, opening her eyes in the middle of the night, saw the silhouette of the deceased in the light of the burning lamp, screaming obscenities and fear throughout the apartment and raising everyone to their feet. This continued for the first few days. Then everything stopped. The 40th day arrived. My friend's mother, the friend who is the narrator of this story, was sitting in the kitchen in the morning with a headache, sipping tea, leaning a hot glass to her temple and thinking whether to go or not to go to the wake, because they had lived in the same building almost their entire lives and had become like family. She said the phrase out loud, "Forgive me, Aunt Valia, but I probably won't be able to come to you today." After these words, the glass cracked and broke with a pop, spilling tea all over the dressing gown, but did not burn the woman with boiling water. Now, without thinking, she, although with a severe headache, went to remember her neighbor, and at the funeral, of course, there was a mystical coincidence. A sparrow flew in through the window, flew under the ceiling, gave a lap of honor around the room, and then flew back.